Hi travelers, Tara here, Hidden Lotus Tarot, and I'm coming to you today with a full moon elemental for the water signs. This is going to be for Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. We have the full moon coming up on Monday, June 20th. Um, Hopefully you've been using this new moon energy to try to move through something new. It may have been very difficult because we do have Mars in retrograde. Um, and so maybe we've been feeling stuck in some areas of our lives. I know that I have been feeling stuck in almost every area of my life. I cannot tell you. It's really kind of odd the way that because I have Mars in the 10th house, and that's all about career and status and recognition. And I've been really struggling with trying to. I think the last reading I did, the one with the Casanovas, and I was talking about compartmentalization. Um, it's almost like I've had to compartmentalize all areas of my life because I'm not able to effectively bring them in a cohesive manner all together. And so it's like, when I'm focusing attention on, let's say, my family life, then I'm only, I'm doing that when suddenly I have to come over here and focus on something in my personal life or my romantic life or, in my spiritual life. So, it's almost as if I'm being forced to not really make decisions one way or the other, but I'm having a difficult time finding that balance and where to concentrate my energies and how to concentrate my energies. And I'm really struggling with that. So if any of you are going through that, I know exactly where you're coming from. What we're going to do is we're going to do a general reading uh, for the water signs, elemental. If this does not resonate with you, go back and look at your moon and rising sign. And then I want you to stay tuned after the reading because I have some announcements that I think a lot of you are going to like. Um, I don't know what, at the beginning of the year, I started telling you about the Virgo Pisces axis, and this is really all about destiny, karma, and fate. And I think that we are, as a whole, a species, humans, are being asked to not only focus our personal goals or wishes or intentions into the universe to create change, but also on how can we get ourselves in alignment to help on a larger scale. I think that many people are going through lots of changes. We know that Mars is retrograde. It comes out of retrograde status on the 29th. And depending on, Mars is all about your ambition, your will, your fighting spirit, your anger. And so depending on where that Mars falls on your natal chart, may be areas where you've been feeling stuck. You just don't have the energy to deal with whatever it is that you're trying to deal with, or your energies may be scattered in that area. Um, Neptune stationed retrograde, I think it was either Monday on the 13th, may have been Tuesday on the 14th, but it is now up to, really getting ready to pick up speed in the retrograde. And Neptune is illusion versus reality, truth versus fiction. It is also a time of great spirituality because Neptune brings about the higher octave of love in terms of the greater good for mankind. Um, but also Neptune is very dreamlike and very illusory. And so now that it's going into retrograde phase, and with the Mars in retrograde, where you're just not having the energy to deal with perhaps effectively a situation, or that you need to be dealing with in whatever area, this retrograde phase of Neptune, and it's going to be in retrograde phase for 5 months. It comes out, I think, November 29th, 24th or 29th. So what that means is you're going to be able to step back and see a situation clearly for what it is, or a person clearly for what it is. Okay. But even throughout this retrograde, there are going to be times when other planetary influences are going to come in and kind of muddle things up. So Neptune is represented by the Hanged Man. in the tarot. And that's always trying to view things from a different perspective, but also viewing it in a way where maybe you have been being deceived by someone, or maybe you yourself have you've been deceiving yourself about something. It could also be asking you whether or not your spiritual beliefs are valid, real, and true, or if they are deceptive. Um, Maybe you've been thinking there's a connection to someone, when all of a sudden, now that the fog is lifted, you realize, well, it's really not that kind of connection that you thought it was. Um, it could mean a lot of things. So what we're going to do, well, I have cards flying out. Now, these two cards have presented themselves, okay, for water signs. I'm going to put these to the side, and then I'm going to lay 9 cards down, and we're going to see what this full moon is going to be bringing. The light of the full moon. Now, the full moon is a luminary, but it doesn't give you the clarity of sight like the sun does. It can show you things, okay, but things will look a little bit different in the light of the moon than they do in the light of day. All right. Well, that devil and the ace underneath. Now, I was talking to you about fate, karma, and destiny, and I have the 2 karma cards here, okay, in the spread for you water signs. Quite interesting. The Wheel of Fortune in the center. Now, this, for some of you, is playing out through this Jupiter transit that we have going on. And not only is it a Jupiter transit, but there's also been some grand trines, earth trines, and you know, that's a mutable energy, which means that things are changeable and flexible. And perhaps if you're not being changeable, adaptable, or flexible, then you're kind of stuck. But it is really about moving towards your destiny. And your karma coming into either to work the karma off, to face the karma, or to accrue some new karma. But it's gonna, something will have to change. Okay, something will have to change. That's what the Wheel of Fortune says. All right. And so if you've been, you know, up on the wheel, then, you know, you may be coming down for a down cycle. And if you've been down on the wheel, you're going to be coming up. As the Buddhists say, the only way to negate karma is to fix yourself in the center of the wheel. All right. And that's about being balanced and not making any decisions one way or the other, or saying anything is fixed in stone. That is always easier said than done. I know exactly. But something, a turn of events has come about. Now I'm looking at, for some of you, this is most definitely a situation about 3 people, or a relationship situation, because I have these, the Lovers is always in this deck. That angel in the center there between that couple represents a third person, or some type of outside event or influence that is creating a situation where you have a choice to make. All right. Now, for some of you water signs, there has been something to celebrate here. And this is really getting together and having some type of emotional connection with someone. If it's, you know, it could be 2 people getting together, creating something, a third, like the birth of a child, or adding someone into the family, or changing family dynamics. Either way, there's something wonderful and beautiful has come in. And it has, this is the moon in Taurus. So this, we just had the moon in Taurus. we had a long transit of the moon in Taurus, along with Mercury retrograde in Taurus. And Taurus rules the second house of self-possessions, the money that you make or the money that you earn. And maybe some of you are seeing some improvement in your self-esteem, in your finances, in the things you've wanted to accrue for yourself. And so this could be something that you're celebrating with someone else, or just simply that is the energy. Maybe you're going out with your friends and celebrating some wonderful things that have happened to you, and that's lovely. But we have another element has come in. Now, majority of readers say that this is a potential lover. And yes, we can look at it that way. But I also like to look at it as something coming in that makes you feel emotionally good. There's a prospect, some type of prospect there. But as we can see, this horse has not crossed that bridge yet. He's not crossed over that stream yet. And those are the emotions right there. And it's almost as saying that this is arriving just at the moment when you're feeling so depleted you don't know what to do. Even though you may be celebrating, you know, there's still something missing. Okay? Now, the star, this is the Venus card. And Venus, too, is about placing value on those things that you love. Excuse me. It is about the income, the woman, the beauty, the love. It is not just about outward love or love of another person or things, but it is about self-love and those things that make you feel very good and secure. Now, for some of you, I think with the full moon, there's going to be a challenge that comes up. Okay? And this perhaps is the new element. And then I have these two twos. So in a sense, it does speak to something like a triangle situation or outside events coming in. This could literally be, you know, maybe you were supposed to go visit someone and for some reason the timing and you were happy about that. But now maybe your finances aren't right, or you can't seem to find the time to make the trip, okay? And being out of balance. This card is about balance as well. For some of you, this could literally be someone coming in out of the blue and throwing you for a loop. This line here down the center, this vertical column down the center, the Six of Pentacles, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Nine of Wands. Maybe through forces of the universe, planetary things, because I mean, really, it's like we've been having, this has been the year of retrogrades. I kid you not. It's just, it's astounding to me. And so that says that there are lots of changes, but these are all changes that are designed through destiny, through fate. And we have, see, 1, 2, 3, 4 major arcana cards. So whatever this, and this is also about spirituality and your spirituality, and maybe aligning your goals and your hopes and your wishes with your spirituality in some way. Maybe some of you, this offer that has come in is something from the universe that's trying to wake you up in terms of maybe you've been partying too much, maybe you've been giving too much, okay? And at the moment you think that's okay, but something else is just going to come in and kind of make you look at it in a different way. That's what Neptune is all about. Maybe you feel that someone has your best interest at heart, and maybe you're operating on that premise. But this is all about marrying your head and your heart. Are you doing what you should be doing, or are you paying attention to your higher self and what your higher self is telling you? And it is trying to figure out how to marry your head with your heart. Okay, it is a choice. And everything that we do is a choice. Everything. We make choices every day from the moment, even when we choose to go to sleep. You know, we don't have the choice of whether or not we wake up, but we have the choice when we go lay down and go to sleep. If we awaken, if we're lucky enough, then we got to get up and start making choices all over again. And maybe this is why we're so off balance, because there are lots of choices to be made. As if the universe is throwing things at you. Just kind of throwing spaghetti to the wall and see what's going to stick. This is the watch and wait card. And this is the card of being wounded, but this is also the card of perseverance, okay? And for some of you, this could literally be you are finding yourself in the same, being faced with the same situation over and over and over again, and something has to give, okay? Something or someone. Now, what I have here is the exit card is the devil. And he represents Saturn. And Saturn is the father of time. In other words, whatever this situation is and however it's going to play out in your life, perhaps it is not the right time. Okay, Saturn, you may have been smacked down all which way, and you're like, dang, But Saturn is not telling you no. Saturn is saying not yet, because there's something else that you need to be doing, or there's something else that you need to know, or there's something else that you that needs to occur. And from these cards, to me, it reads like you're being presented with the same situation over and over again, or it appears that way, and like you can't get away from that. Okay, just when I think I'm going to be having a good time and everything's going to be free, something comes in out of the universe, something unexpectedly, something that on the surface appears to be very, very good for me, or something that's going to allow me to be more expansive and abundant. Okay, and then I get smacked down. What do I do? Now, this vertical column on the right of the Knight of Cups, the Lovers, and the Devil, this could literally be an offer coming to you, and you're going to have to make a decision about what to do. Go with the devil, stick with the devil, or go with the one you don't know, in whatever manner that means for you. This is a card of being bound, of feeling stuck. These are limitations, but this card also speaks to shadow, the shadow side. And maybe it is through this particular offer or person that comes in. You're struggling with your choice between head or heart. What do I do about this? And you can't seem to come up with an idea. Maybe this has come about. It is the same situation that's come about because you've been stuck. If you're making the same decisions over and over again, you are literally stuck. But it is not through other people. It is really about yourself. Okay, this is really reads like a spiritual issue in some respect. Okay, but in another respect, it is about outside forces, because the two cards that fell out are the Ten of Swords, the card of disappointments, the card of rock bottom, of giving up, no place else left to go, betrayal, being stabbed in the back. Okay, but then I have this card of someone who has is very comfortable where they are. All right, and that may be great, but the universe is asking you now to grow and evolve. Okay, whatever you're stuck in and being comfortable in really is no longer working for you. Okay, it's not working for you anymore. So you're being asked to harness or get in touch with that shadow side of yourself. Harness that so that you can move on to some abundance. But this could also be your own downfall, okay, because you've been acting smug and as though you don't need anybody else. And the truth of the matter is, we always need someone else. Always. Not to, if someone has helped you in a manner, if you've attained some success or accolades or recognition, you didn't do that crap by yourself. There's somebody there to help you. Okay, even if it was nobody, just somebody sitting in the corner going, yay, yay, go, go. Okay, somebody helped you. And so this is recognizing that you are not an island, and you cannot move forward in your life without the assistance of other people. You could be sitting alone, with all of your riches and all of your toys and all of those things that give you that outward sense of accomplishment, but you are, in effect, you have no one to share it with, okay? And that could be through your own fault, but you have become so comfortable in that you don't want to change, but yet the universe is showing you things and telling you that has to change, okay? And the Lover's card can also be about really being separated from, it's separation from your higher self and separation from your own divinity. And it could be saying that whatever this situation is you may be trying to avoid is the very, very thing that you need to jump into wholeheartedly, because through that, you're going to be able to find gifts in abundance. There's a portal way there waiting for you to walk through it. And this card could literally be about the fear of doing that, okay? But it is a self-limitation. Some of you may feel you're in a situation where you want to leave and you feel as though you can't. This has you off balance and you're just kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop, okay? But while you're waiting, you're stuck here and you feel stuck, but that's a perception. And it also, this card speaks to, not making a decision about thinking that you already know how things are going to be, because you don't. This is a spread of great change and also upheaval. Even though the cards, we don't have the Tower card here, it is, I think, a spiritual upheaval. That's what it reads like. Something, having it all, but needing more. But the more that you need is not what you think you need, okay? And so you got to figure that out and be able to release yourself from some maybe slavish tendencies. Yeah, let's pull some Sibilas on this. This is quite when these two cards fell out, it almost reads as though that there was a major disappointment. But you're just like, okay, well, screw it. I'm going to go ahead and do what I want to do anyway, because I really don't need nobody else. And you're going along just fine and everything's happy. You got new stuff coming in. And then suddenly it's like, oh, yeah, everything's working just right. And then bam, something comes at you out from the universe that makes you stop. And this is can be really literally the battle within yourself. Afraid to, I don't know what the word is I'm looking for, having that fear, or just saying, it ain't gonna work, or I already know what's gonna happen. And if that's what you're doing, water signs, that's why you're stuck here. You see, because look what's coming. So I'm going to take a look at this Ten of Swords. The cards are almost saying that the situation is not what you think it is. It's not what you think it is. That's kind of the way it reads. Things aren't as they appear to be. And maybe this is occurring through the Neptune transit so that the fog can lift and you can see what it is you need to see to get to this space. It is something brand new coming in. Something that is going to be tangible on the material plane in one sense, because that's what and it's going to require work. But with that portal way in the back, it's also a spiritual game. Okay. Let me go ahead and lay these cards. I'm going to pull Sibilas on the Ten of Swords, the Lovers, and this Devil. Okay. I don't know which one I want to pull on first. I want to pull on the devil first. Look, being stuck in imbalance. Maybe you're stuck somewhere and you can't leave. I don't know. Because that also can represent travel sometimes. You know, it's a battle for you to, you know, I don't know. Maybe you've been wanting to go someplace and you can't. I don't know if this full moon is going to be in Sagittarius or not, because this represents the moon in Sagittarius. This is definitely a strange turn of events, a kind of a twist of fate. It is brought about by, but there's choices to be made in whatever manner that means. Even the choice to get back into alignment with yourself, that's a choice. Mercante, fortuna, il nemico. Now, whether heterosexual or same-sex, this can be speaking to the return of someone at an inconvenient time, out of the blue. Before there was issues of give and take, circular, same thing over and over again, and someone saying, I already know how it's going to work out. But the Il Nemico can also speak to fear. Okay? Now, this could be about someone having that fear of letting go of whatever it is they need, that shadow work. Or it could be about, this is the card of contracts and negotiations. Someone who is considering what direction they want to. Am I going to take that contract? Am I going to offer that contract? Am I going to receive? Am I going to go forward in the manner in which I want to go? The choice. Recognizing that it is something positive and fortuitous, but either being blocked by another person or by them from themselves. Something preventing them within themselves from reaping this ace here. Now, funny. Not funny like haha, but funny, weird, strange. On the Ten of Swords, the La Nemica, the woman who acts in secret, the rival, the enemy, someone who does not have your highest good in hand, thwarting you. Allegrezza al cuore, the happiness of the heart. The Belvedere. Now this is very, very odd, people. And I say that because there's a juxtaposition of these 6 cards. This is the happiness of the heart and celebrations, as if maybe someone from the past did return and there was a celebration, but for some reason now, or perhaps this person was looking forward to future things to come, but now they've been disappointed. Okay? So they have to continue to look out. But then it's like the story's being told backwards with these 3 cards. Okay, because technically these 2 cards would be great together. The 2 cards in the center are positive, and then I have these 2. So this could literally be the realization that if someone from your past has returned, nothing has changed. The same circumstance over and over and over again. Okay. But it could also speak to, as I said, this card could speak to fear. This could be someone having fear of going forward with something. Maybe because in their past, they have had experiences where they've been disappointed before. Okay? So let's look at the Lovers. The choice of someone, this is requited love. The Lover, the male Lover. Requited love. Bambino, something new. And the Gran Signore on the Lover's card. Now, either this is someone who is trying to marshal the forces and bring themselves into alignment to admit that they do have feelings, that they do want something new, how to build upon that, the choice or the cooperation or the union of, so that they can become this person. Okay, that's really what they want in their heart, and they are trying to figure out how they can do that. It could be because the Il Nemico and the La Nemica have come out. Maybe there has been outside influences that are blocking this. Maybe it is the interaction between the two people that has prevented this. But definitely, this is not just about physical love. This is really about someone having, in a sense, either a spiritual crisis or a spiritual awakening in terms of what it is they really want for themselves. And how are they going to go about getting that? Maybe things seem impossible. The Two of Pentacles, the Nine of Wands, and that fear and not facing up that maybe I'm the one that needs to change, or something has to change, or I need to be more open to whatever is coming in. Okay? And this is definitely events that are coming through the universe. This is a karmic moment. This is a fated moment. It is a moment of choosing your destiny. So how do you choose the right path? What do I do? And that's what this is. Now, I'm going to pull these cards up. That's a very, very interesting spread. Very interesting to me. So what I'm going to do is tell you now the announcements. I do hope that message helped you, water signs, in some way, shape, or form. Only you who are faced with that situation or in that situation or recognize that situation, hopefully that message will really resonate with you. So let me tell you now about the announcements. I have a friend, excuse me, let me get some water. Who is a very well-known astrologer. Her name is Sally Kirkman. She's a British astrologer, I believe. I was thinking of Jessica Adams, who's Australian. But anyway, Sally is the person who inspired me to do the Pay What You Want. Okay, and I'm going to be bringing that back. Gosh, I lost my voice there. I wonder what that could mean. I will be bringing back my Pay What You Want, but as I said, I'm just struggling trying to keep all my ducks in a row. I'm juggling. But she is offering a one-question astrological reading. She expects donations, okay? So I'm going to put the link to her site, to the Pay What You Want on her site, and you get to ask one free question, have your natal chart looked at by her. And this could be in any area. It could be love, family, romance, career, okay, spiritual, excuse me. And she'll take a look at that for you. So I'm going to put the link there. I want you to go over if you're interested in that. And I think in a way, this is kind of particularly in seeing this reading, that if you're interested in that, take her up on that offer. Make sure you donate. because, you know, doing astrology charts take a lot of time. That's why it costs a lot of money to have your chart done. Same thing with my Akashic Records reading. That deals strictly with spiritual energies and realigning those energies. And that is a lot of work. So, you know, but anyway, if you decide to take her up on that offer, please mention in your email that Tara from Hidden Lotus Tarot sent you there, okay? Now, I opened, before I opened the spread, and I was telling you how I've been struggling. As a tarot card reader, I can see things for other people. I'm not always able to see things for myself, or if I do, then I tend to question what I see. That is just the nature of the way it works sometimes. I can't speak for all tarot card readers or psychics. Information that I receive from my higher self or from the Akashic Records, I never question that. Only when I'm looking at the cards for myself do I sometimes question the messages that I'm getting. So, you know, my friends say, oh, you didn't see that in the cards? You didn't see that comment? No, I didn't. Sometimes I'm too close to the situation. And so there are 3 ladies that have really, I have myself been needing counsel these past few weeks. And the 3 ladies that I always go to, Christelle Martinet, of course, she's my mentor, Louisiana Lou, and then Tanya over at Mystic Souls. So if you don't know these 3 readers, I'm here to vouch for them that they are accurate. They have great energy. They're not going to BS you. You can find them here on YouTube. And so thank you, ladies, very much. I really appreciate all of the support that you've been giving me. Now, the extra announcement is that Louisiana Lou and I are going to be getting together the weekend of July 4th. We're going to try to get down. We're going to, here in Corpus Christi, Texas, we're going to be in Corpus Christi. And we're going to be on the beach, South Padre Island. And we're going to be actually recording some videos and uploading to YouTube from that area. But also any subscribers that are in this area, if you can get down to the beach, we're going to be offering mini readings for donations. And we expect donations, okay? So this is an opportunity for us to get to meet some of you in person and for you to get an opportunity to meet us. It's also an opportunity for you to get a reading there. So if you can make that the weekend of July 2nd, I'm going to come back with more. We're trying to do it on the 3rd, but I'll keep you updated as that goes along. And if you can do that, you know, we'd love to have you and spend some time with you. So that's what I have for you. And I hope these messages helped. If they did not resonate with you, again, go back and look at your moon and rising sign. And until next time, namaste.